Hello, crafty tribe. This is Maddie, and let's get creative. So these are the projects that I'm working on during this filming. So you'll get to see all of those. I started with that red love sign from DollarTree, and I just traced out all the letters just onto some regular paper. So it was pretty easy to see them with the contrast between the red and the white. And then I just have some crafting foam. I'm just showing you I got a great deal on a big bundle of it at the thrift store. So I was pretty excited about that. And I'm just going to use some white craft foam and trace out those letters onto it. So I started with some chalk pastel, and I thought I could just transfer them onto the foam. I didn't want to use a marker or what do you call it? The transfer paper, because I was scared it would smudge on the foam. But this chalk pastel didn't quite work. It wasn't quite clear enough to see. So then I decided to just roll up some tape, kind of use it as double-sided tape, and stick the pattern down to the foam so that I could cut it out that way. And that seemed to work fairly easily. It worked fairly well. So just took my time, tried to cut them out really nicely. I did try and make them just a couple millimeters bigger than what was on the sign, just to be sure that they covered up the white letters that were already there. And then I just laid them all out and stuck them down with some double-sided tape. And that chalk pastel just wiped right off of them, just with a baby wipe. And then I picked out 4 patterns, just kind of some random heart and pink ones from some scrapbook pads that I have, and just kind of laying them out, deciding which patterns to use on which letter, and then I cut them out just a little bit smaller than the white letters, so not quite a 1/4 inch less than the foam. And then I just stuck all those down with double-sided tape as well. And you can see by that heart, I just used a skewer, like a little barbecue skewer, and I made the front of the arrow and the back of the arrow. For the back, the feathers, I just used a little piece of tinsel. And then for the little heart at the front, it's just a piece of pink foam. And then just gluing down the galvanized heart that was there originally. So just gluing that back on. And then I just had these, some of these offcuts from Home Depot that they actually just throw away. So always when you're at Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, just have a look in their scrap bin, what they're getting rid of, because you never know what you'll find. And I just painted them white. I think I gave them 2 coats of chalk paint just to make sure they were covered really well. And then I'm just showing you, I just wanted to make this look like more of a luxe kind of home decor item. So those boards are often bowed, those little signs. So I'm just taking another one. I got a bunch of those long signs after Christmas for half price. And then I put the 2 bowed sides opposite each other, and I put a bunch of wood glue in between. And then I put them underneath 2 big piles of books for the night, and then just left it. And in the morning they were glued together really well, and they're so solid and there's no warp to them at all anymore. So I was super happy about that. I can see doing that in the future again. It just makes like a DollarTree sign look so high-end and so much better. So I'm really pleased with how this came out. And I hope you guys like it too. Hopefully it inspires you to maybe do something like that with those signs, because I really like the design of it. I didn't really feel like I needed to change it. So here I'm just working on a little mailbox, a little Valentine mailbox. So I found the mailbox after Christmas for 75% off, And then that's just like kind of a 70s candle holder sort of thing. So I just poked a little hole with a nail in the mailbox. And then that candle holder already has kind of a nail sticking out of it. So I'm just going to use that to attach it with. So I just gave the wooden candle holder just kind of like a rough coat of white, just letting some of the wood show through. And I just worked in kind of one direction, mostly just letting some of the brown show through. So then, this was a new find for me at our dollar store, Dollarama. They're selling these kind of mini vinyl sticker sheets, and they had them in this wood grain texture pattern, which I was really excited about. I thought it was cute. So just lining them up to go over top of the mailbox, and making sure that the pattern lined up. So I just thought it was a really cute pattern, and that I would just cover most of the mailbox with it, just to give it some more interest. And it went on really well. It's nice and sticky, so hopefully I'll be able to use that for lots of projects in the future. It did tear a little bit there, but it was easy to fix. So then just using those foam hearts as a pattern, I just cut out some more of that vinyl, the pink wood grain vinyl, just to fit inside the foam like that purple heart. So the vinyl's actually pretty sticky. I was pretty pleased with that. And then just used some double-sided tape on the foam, and stuck one on the front of the mailbox and one on the back. It kind of reminded me of like a Snoopy Charlie Brown mailbox. I don't know why. So I just put a little foam heart on the flag, and then I just dry brushed a little bit of pink over top of the white on the post for the mailbox, just to give it some interest. And then I also sanded it a little bit to distress it. And this is the sandpaper from DollarTree, which I was so excited to find, and now I'm so disappointed because it's just like disintegrating in my hand. Does anyone else have that issue? Is it just me? I don't know. I don't know if you have to just keep it flat and not work on anything angled with it, but it basically just fell apart in my hand. So this is my little Charlie Brown Snoopy mailbox. And then for the next project, I was so in love with this reusable bag that I found at DollarTree over Christmas, and I actually went back to the store again like a week later, and they still had them, which I couldn't believe, so I picked up another one. And with this in mind, so I had this on display at Christmas. It just has a wicker basket inside to kind of keep it sturdy, like so it looks filled like that. And then I had that foam hearts package that I got last year on clearance at Michael's. And then this is so funny. This cardboard print was on an instant potato package, and it just caught my eye, and I thought that matches what I'm doing. So I cut out some hearts out of that as well, and then just kind of worked them all together to make just kind of a nice little load of hearts for this truck. And then just to give it kind of that watercolor feel like the truck on the bag has, I just kind of used a darker shade on each color heart and gave it kind of a watercolor feel, just like a messy little watercolor texture to them. So just the like a pretty dark purple on the dark purple ones, and then a lighter purple for those. So again, not going for perfection, just a quick little watercolor texture over them. It was not hard to do. Do not be intimidated by this. So I just tried to kind of go one shade up from the color it already was. I thought this is one of the cutest designs that I've seen at DollarTree. I wish they had have done more with it. Maybe next year, hopefully. So then once they were all dried, I just set them out into a pattern again. So just trying to alternate, like, so that there wasn't a light pink beside a light pink. It's not perfect, but just trying to make sure that there was enough interest to it. And then I just went in and tacked them down with a hot glue gun. So I didn't want this to be permanently on the bag, so I figured I would just make it a separate addition, like that I could just use after Christmas on this bag, because I think I'll do the same thing with the bag next year. I really thought it was so cute. I had it sitting on my front step with a really big red bow on top. So I just used some cardboard to make it sturdy. And then I gave it a clear coat just with a matte finish clear spray, just so that that watercolor would stay on there. Or the watercolor effect. I guess it's acrylic paint, but now I'm just making up some snow paint. So I've done this in previous videos, so just some white acrylic paint, a little bit of glue to bind it with, some shaving cream, some baking soda, and a little bit of flour. And it just gives this nice fluffy snow texture to the paint. So I think I just show you here in a second how like fluffy it is. You can see on the end of the paint stick. So then just like the painting of the truck on the bag, there was a bunch of snow sitting on top of the tree as well. So I thought I would just paint some snow to sit on top of the hearts and just, you know, keep that same cute feature to these as well. So just trying to think like snow and kind of have it the way it's resting on the truck and where the snow would fall and where the snow would settle on the hearts. And then it just took a couple hours to dry. So then I gave that another coat of the matte spray sealer just to be sure that the foam would seal, and then painted a little bit of blue shadow, like kind of a low light on the snow, just like the inspiration on the bag has. So just trying to emulate that look. So just mixing a little bit of that medium kind of periwinkle blue with the light sky blue. And then just trying to go on the underside of the little snow peaks on the hearts. So again, just super easy, not going for perfection, if you look at the truck on the bag, it's not perfection either, just to kind of give it that effect. So I keep saying watercolor effect, but it is just acrylic paint. So then I just decided to use some duct tape and use it kind of as a double-sided tape to stick this to the bag, because I was going to keep this one inside for Valentine's Day, so it was outside on my step for Christmas, and then I just have this just inside my door on top of the shoe shelf. So I thought it was super cute, and I get to enjoy that print for another extra couple weeks, which is nice. So next project is just one of these Marque heart lights from Michael's. I got it on clearance. I think I got it like 80 or 90% off last year. I actually got 2 of them. So I thought I would just kind of lighten it up and kind of make it a little bit funner and happier. So I started with a white coat of chalk paint just to lighten it, because I knew I wanted to go in with this light pink, and it just makes that much easier to do. So I just coated the whole thing with pink. And then a nice fun blue for the feather design on the end. And this is called Gunmetal Gray, I believe, by Folk Art. It's just kind of a nice dark silver color. And then I went in with the stylus from DollarTree, just with the larger ball end, and just did some polka dots all over the pink. So I'm just using white, linen white chalk paint, and just doing kind of a random polka dot pattern all over. I just thought it gave it like a real sweetness, kind of a cute pattern. So then I went in with some darker blue, just to kind of bring out some of the detail in that ribbed feather design on the end. So I just wipe most of it off, just leaving it kind of where it settles in between the little ribs. And it just kind of richened the color too. So then with these are the peonies from DollarTree, and same thing, I just wanted to give them a little bit more richness of color. So I just watered down some of that darker blue, and I just painted it down into the bottoms of the petals, just to kind of give it that deeper color on the inside of the flower, and then it's still light on the edges. And then that just took an hour or 2, I think, to dry. So I decided on 3 flowers and 2 leaves. So I just lightened up the leaves with a little bit of a lighter green color. And just thought this added some more cuteness and interest to it as well. And just a quick before and after. And there it is, hanging on the wall. I just used one of the little DollarTree faux command hook sort of things. I think it was a 2-pound one, and it seems just fine. It held it up just fine. So here I'm just trying to kind of Valentine up one of the little gnomes from DollarTree. So I just freshened up his paint with pink hat, purple shirt, and I left his little pants red. And So the eyes don't have any white in them, so I just painted the whole eye white and then went back in with a little bit of the skin color that they had used. And then just, you know, the blue irises and the black pupils. And I'm just showing you this little detailed brush that I have here. And I'm just using some darker purple to go into the folds of the fabric, just to give it a little bit more detail. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. You just kind of water down a deeper color and let it fall into those little grooves of the fabric, the little folds. And then I tried to give him some little highlights for his eyes, just where the light would bounce off. So again, it's not perfect, but it's like better than you get them, better than the way they're painted at DollarTree. So then I used some gloss Mod Podge for his eyes, and then just some matte on the rest of him. And I thought he just turned out kind of cute and goes well with everything for Valentine's. And then I love this sign just as is. This is from DollarTree as well, but I thought I would just kind of add a little bit of shadow because you'll be able to see the top and sides of it. So just again with the dark blue, just watered it down a little bit and painted a little bit of a shadow detail to it. And then I think I just patted it off with some cloth. Yeah, just kind of blending it in. And then this was just going to be the final little piece that I used for the vignette. And I'm just showing you that I got it for $1.50. And on the bottom of that little flower pot, there's a sticker that says $44. I think somebody paid $44 for that, which is crazy. So this is the little vignette as you walk in the door, and it's brought me a lot of happiness, so hopefully it brings you some inspiration too. And if you like what you see, I'm going to be putting up a Valentine's tiered tray video soon as well, so make sure you subscribe and set up your notifications for that. And thank you guys so much for watching. Talk to you soon.